What are the worst selling cars in America of the year, our Lord and Savior, 2024? We'll just get off right onto the list, and there's going to be actually quite a bit of shocking gas cars in here. I thought I'd be seeing a lot more electric cars, but hey, even I can be surprised. The number one car with a supply of 599 days will be a car that I don't think people know even exists. It's the Acura ZDX, which is Acura's only electric SUV offering. And let me just say, this car looks so weird. I saw this at my job at one point. I had to do a double take because I have never even seen this car before. This thing is weird as hell. People don't want it. They have much more than a year's supply of this car. Yeah, this car is weird. The Acura ZDX. I have not even seen a single advertisement about this car. That's not a good sign. Not seeing advertisements for electric cars is just an instant way to get your car to fail, if you ask me. There's not really any hype about this car. There's no reason to go to Acura to buy a luxury electric car. And I think that a lot of luxury brands really struggle with selling electric cars. I'd be interested to see the numbers on Cadillac's electric SUV, which I have ridden in. It's a very nice car. But moving on from Acura, we have the Fiat 500e. No surprise here, Stellantis is just now entering the list. The 500e is very ugly. Fiat just makes, I've never seen a good looking Fiat car in my life, but 500e, another electric car, has a 459-day supply. That is brutal as well, just like Acura. The Fiat 500e, I've never seen one of these on the road, maybe it's just because I live in America, but yeah, I've never seen one of these, never heard anybody talk about these at all. I don't even think that nobody's buying them. Of course nobody's talking about them. Yeah, they're ugly, there's no hype around them, there's no point in buying an electric Fiat. Like, what's the point of that? You're spending that much money, just get a Tesla, which I think is the popular consensus here in America, is if you're gonna buy an electric car, you're gonna buy a Tesla. There's no point to buying anything other than a Tesla. And I think a lot of brands are starting to realize that, which is why a lot of European brands are starting to cut off on their electric offerings in America, much like I think Audi, and they are on this list, don't you fret. Number 3 is gonna be the Dodge Hornet with a supply of 384 days, our first gasoline car. No surprises here. The Dodge Hornet is just a nightmare. I've seen a couple on the road. I think they actually look pretty cool. I think if they put a fast engine in the car, it would sold a lot better. I don't know. I don't know what to do with the Dodge Hornet. 384 days, that's not good. Nobody wants these things. Even though I think it was a big missed opportunity, it's too expensive. It is just a rebadged Alfa Romeo. It's just a nightmare. The Dodge Hornet is just such a failure on all levels. So we're gonna quickly get over that. And a car that I was not shocked to see, but I was just waiting for Maserati to be on this list. With a supply of 344 days, we have the Maserati Levante. This is just a death rattle of Stellantis brands. I think the Maserati Levante is pretty cool on its own. I think it sounds pretty nice. I've seen a couple on the road. I think they're pretty cool. Actually, I've seen more Maserati Levantes on the road than any of the other cars on this list, which I find to be kind of shocking, but I live in Houston. There's a lot of nice cars in Houston. I think the Maserati Levante, again, it's just a death rattle of Maserati. I think Maserati is just so close to just being over. I think that every single day we see more and more destruction coming from Maserati and Fiat and all Stellantis brands. Again, it's an expensive luxury car. Why buy an Italian luxury car in America? There's not really any market for Italian brands in America at all. Again, it's the reliability. It's nobody in America. Italian cars aren't really deemed to be all that impressive. I know in Europe there's this concept that Italian cars are this big deal. That doesn't exist in America at all. It's more of German cars in America are deemed as being the pinnacle of design and all that stuff. Maserati Levante, 344 days. I think Maseratis are cool, but I think by 2027 or 2028, Maserati will not be in America anymore. The Audi Q4 e-tron, a day supply of 254 days. That's brutal. Audi struggling with their electric cars, and we actually are going to have Audi back to back on this list, so I'm going to go straight to the second with a supply of 238 days. Audi Q4 Sport Pack, which is also an EV. The Q4 e-tron and the Sportback, basically the same cars, but again, like different concept, you know what I'm saying. These cars are, there's no point in buying an electric car from Audi. Who's saying, I want to go out and buy an electric Audi? Audi has always been known for their sort of performance side. A lot of Audis are performance based. It's kind of like BMWs. I personally love Audis. I think they look very cool. I think they sound awesome. I think, well, they're one of the most unreliable cars you can buy. They look very cool, and we've all heard a lot about Audi's failed EV ventures in America. Why buy an electric Audi is basically the reason. I haven't seen these advertised very well. There's not really any hype around these cars. There's no excitement around the Audi electric sphere. Like, what's the point to buying one of these cars, basically? And I don't think I think it theoretically could be remedied, but it would take a lot of money to get Americans to start buying electric Audis, because what's the point of buying an electric luxury car? And the next like I'm shopping, the next car on our list with a day supply of 238 days, just like the Audi Q4 Sportback, will be the Lincoln Navigator, which actually kind of shocked me because Lincoln is nowhere else on this list. And I think that I think they make fine cars. I actually have a video about how I think they need to just redo their entire identity. And again, it's right here, Lincoln Navigator. Who's gonna buy these? It's like a mom car, but luxury, and that doesn't really probably sell very well. And well, not probably, numbers are right here. Who's gonna buy a Lincoln Navigator? Who is the market? Who is going out to buy a massive car like this? And of course, you know, you have competitors like Cadillac, who sells the Escalade, one of the most highest selling, high quality, massive SUVs in that market. Lincoln or Cadillac really has that entire market shut down, and I think Lincoln is just, they can't figure it out. The Lincoln Navigator is just, who's gonna buy this? They have an identity crisis at Lincoln. They really need to do, I think lowering the price would really help. This is a gargantuan buy to go out and buy a Lincoln Navigator, and in the economy we have now, nobody's going out to buy a Lincoln Navigator. I mean, they are so expensive. I could see there being some excitement around it because people love mom cars. They love the soccer mom cars. They love Escalades. They love Expeditions, cars like that. Ford needs to figure out how to market the Lincoln Navigator better, and I think lowering the price would really, really help. The next car on our list, not a surprise, with a supply of 229 days, is the Jaguar XF. The Jaguar XF, I'll be honest, I'm not really into Jaguar as a brand. I don't really know much about Jaguar. Again, we've all heard the rumors that Jaguar is just barely making it by, they're barely ticking boxes, and that their whole new line is going to be completely redone. All the cars are getting canceled, it's just a nightmare. Jaguar, nobody's buying them. Nobody knows what to do with them. Not just an identity crisis for Jaguar. Their brand is sort of a brand of old. Nobody really wants to buy a Jaguar because I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about, oh, have you seen the brand new Jaguar that's coming out? Have you seen Jaguar's new line that they're releasing? Have you seen the leaks, all this stuff? Even on Reddit groups, I've never seen any of this. The Jaguar Reddit forum is, by the way, a pitiful place to be. It's a death rattle. I've said that a lot here, but nobody's really on that thing either. Yeah, Jaguar, I think they're probably over. Just like Maserati, I think it's just a number of years before Jaguar is just finished in America again. And that brings us to Jeep, which is the #1 shocking brand on this list because as somebody who lives in Texas, you see a lot of Jeeps and a lot of Jeep Gladiators, which has a day supply of 225. There are 225 days of Jeep Gladiators on stock, which shocked me. Maybe it's just because of where I live, but there are a lot of Jeep Gladiators in Texas, especially in the Houston area. People love these things in Texas, and I know a lot of guys will start talking trash about the Jeep Gladiator. They think it's lame, I think it's not a real truck. I'm gonna be honest, that's not a whole conversation I'm gonna get into in this video, but the Jeep Gladiator it's cool. I like the Jeep Gladiator personally. Again, I'm not a massive truck guy, maybe that's just it, but I think it's cool. I think it's unique. I think Jeep really figured it out, and I think they're just on that rocky, bumpy road with sales on this thing. I personally think Gladiator is gonna bounce back. I see a lot of people hype these up, a lot of excitement around these. I think making a Gladiator that's more centered towards off-roading would really help. Jeep is, I mean, honestly known for their there off-roading. Everyone brings Jeeps off-roading, with like the Wrangler, for example. And I think that Jeep would really do well with an off-roading based car like the Gladiator, or sort of like the F-150 Tremor, but not making it 100 grand. Yeah, Jeep, I think Jeep will figure it out. The Gladiator's a cool car. I think it would be neat to own one. Anyway, moving on. Last car on this list is going to be the Ram 3500 with supply of 224 days. This is not a surprise, to be honest. Who's going out to buy a 3500 Ram? That's a gigantic truck. Ram sells their smaller models very well. Ram, they're doing really well. And this list may not make it seem that way, but 224 days isn't bad for a gigantic truck like the 3500. Yeah, they sell their smaller 1500s, 2500s really well. I see so many Ram pickup trucks where I live in the Houston area. I see so many of these cars. People love Rams in Texas. I even thought about not even putting this car on this list because, let's be honest, the Ram 3500, nobody's going out to buy those massive trucks. That's more of a company thing, more of a work truck, to be honest. Ram's doing completely fine. The 1500 is a super cool truck. It's a really nice truck. The 2500 is a really nice truck. 3500 is a cool truck, but again, that market, nobody's really buying those. That's more of a work truck type of thing. That list is done. This was a pretty fun video to do. Let me know what you thought about it down below. The Acura ZDX is a car that I would like to talk about a little bit more. I saw one of these cars come through my job. You see that sign?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, the Acura ZDX is a really weird car. I saw one of them come through my job, and they looked so weird. I didn't know what it was at first. I thought it looks a little bit like a Mercedes to me for some reason, just from the front end. What the hell is this car? It kind of blew my mind. It's very ugly, I will say. Most electric cars are ugly. I don't know why brands want to make electric cars ugly, which is why Tesla does so well, by the way, because their cars are not ugly. The Acura ZDX is super weird. I think it'd be really cool to ride in one, but yeah, Acura ZDX is super weird. That was the list today. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what cars surprised you, what cars didn't surprise you. I really have no idea for these brands. Maserati's screwed. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Merry Christmas, by the way.
Artlist.io